Welcome to Drink of Thrones, the show where we discuss everything Thrones.
And of course, we drink while doing it.
My name is Louie.
And my name is Jazmin.
And if you're 21 and over and playing the drinking game with us today,
drink until you feel like Aemon the first time he went on a ride on Vhagar.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ride, I think.
Yeah.
Today's word of the day is Allicent. That means every time you hear us say Allicent, feel free to take a drink. We're going to be trying to catch each other saying the word Allicent. We might even be trying to set up each other saying the word Allicent. And when we do, one of us is going to press the button and Tyrion's going to let us know.
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
And we know that it's not. Right?
Not at all. Not that intro wasn't easy either.
No, it's not. But anyways, in good fun, we are going to kick off the show really quick with the shot. Now, do you want to be the green or do you want to be the black?
The black.
Ugh.
For sure.
Yeah.
This episode was all about you, Baba.
All right, here we go. Ooh, spicy meatball. Ooh. And of course, we changed this episode 9. Well, getting straight into it. Oh, man, that really hit me. It's called The Green Council. And we changed the light to green.
Well, if you're watching us on YouTube. We did change our studio light in the background to green because this was definitely an episode.
If you're just listening, picture the color green, and that's what we changed the light.
Yeah. Because this episode was absolutely all about the greens, right?
Yes. They're setting up the foundation of what their plan was, how they're going to kick off this new, how the story is going to start to kind of play along after the death. How
they're going to rule, right, too. Mm-hmm. The way in which they're going to rule, what they value, who's on their side. That's
how
all
they
being
intend
set
to
up.
rule.
Yeah. So we start off with
the king is dead.
Viserys dead.
Dead. As dead as you can be.
Spooky season is here, and Viserys is also dead.
And right off the bat, we have a council meeting, right? Well, before that, actually, there's the servant that lets the queen know. Ooh, oh, that was close. I almost said it.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, she lets the queen know that the series has passed, and that's when you start playing the game. Now, what are we doing? Right? Who else knows? Then you can see that they put a lot of the people that knew, because the servants knew. Some of them knew. They put them in the dungeon to kind of keep it hush hush. And in the books, that's kind of what they do. But there was only one servant that knew, and he runs over and he tells the queen.
Just say it.
He tells the queen, and they put him in the dungeon. Who else knows? Nobody. Fucking put his ass in the dungeon for now, so nobody can find out, and they can kind of make the moves they want to make. And that was the important thing of putting those people in the dungeon.
Okay, so everyone's put away, and when they go to that council meeting, so I've been having this question too since the beginning. Like, what are those golden? Oh, not golden. They're not gold. I don't know why I said.
Well, one of them is, right?
But the orbs that are like made of glass or whatever. Know. Like, what the hell are those?
I don't know.
Like they always grab them. Like Otto grabbed it and put it in his hole.
Yeah.
I know. Not in a dirty way, but like in his
you're saying that anal beads.
Well,
are you saying that Otto used it as an anal bead?
No.
Okay. Not at all.
No. But yeah, so I was just wondering, what the hell are they? Because they act like they're important, but they never really tell us anything.
I don't know either, but I thought it was cool. I still think they're cool.
Yeah,
I just don't understand it, though.
Yeah, like...
It's like, you can still speak up, whether you have that ball or not. I have no idea what, but...
I don't understand the purpose either. But yeah, so they're all there.
Mm-hmm.
The queen's at the head. I don't think we should be able to say queen. But...
Okay.
But yeah, so everyone's there. Otto's obviously leading it, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of discover that there's been this secret conspiracy that's not so secret because everybody knows, waiting for Aegon to rise at some point.
Yeah. Well, Allicent was...
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
Yeah. Alicent obviously tells everybody, look, I was there, moments before my husband died, and it was his last wish. And she sincerely believes it, I think, that Aegon should rule.
Yeah, she seems to be sincere in
Yeah.
she believed the whole time when I was watching the show, I was just yelling like, no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Because she's like, he said for his last wish was for Aegon to be the ruler.
Yeah.
And nobody seems to take into account that there's not just one Aegon.
But he was also not talking about, I don't think, any Aegon that is currently living. I think he was talking about Aegon's dream.
Yeah, well,
The
yes.
prince who was...
He absolutely was.
And and it was all convoluted, and it was making no sense, especially without any context. And on top of it, you add that he thought he was speaking to Rhaenyra. It's just a
But
recipe for disaster.
even without any context,
Yeah.
there's still another Aegon that's out there. And the odds are, just knowing how Viserys is that it's probably Rhaenyra's Aegon.
Maybe.
For the most part, I think
Mm-hmm.
that would be the first common sense thought. Well, the first logical thought,
Yeah.
right? At least in my head, but, I'm not Westerosi, so maybe.
No, I think in to the Queen's to Alicent's defense, I think
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
I do think that is very confusing, and she probably thought. I think if I were in her shoes, I would feel the same thing. I would have thought the same thing.
No, I understand why she was confused,
Mm-hmm.
but also she's not thinking, oh, he's literally always drugged up. He's almost gonna die, and
Mm-hmm.
then he obviously loves her kids more. I mean, I guess she was hopeful, but I just think dude, there's multiple Aegons out there. It's probably Rhaenyra's Aegon,
Yeah.
but
I don't even think he was saying that. I don't even think he was saying
I
Aegon
don't
should rule.
No, he was talking about Aegon's.
Prophecy.
Yes, but I'm just saying without context, I would still think it would be related to Rhaenyra. Is all.
Maybe you do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but as if you put yourself in Alicent's shoes,
what would lead her to believe otherwise?
It's not easy being drunk.
I feel like you should drink when you don't catch me.
No, I'll do it this time because you drink a lot, but I don't feel that.
Okay.
I don't agree.
Okay.
Because you're still doing the crime. Why should I pay the time? Huh?
Okay. Fair. Anyway, so that she finds out during this meeting that not only are people willing to go along with what she said, right? That the Aegon, because she just found out this is what that the Viserys said this the night before, right? But not only are they willing to go along with this, they have planned already for something like this to happen.
Well, even more dramatic is that her dad's behind all this, and she thought, I think she thought her dad was a better dude than he was.
Yeah.
And I think we find that out in this episode, right?
Well, now in this episode,
He's like, oh shit, my dad's the bad guy,
mm-hmm.
I think she gets a little sense of that, and that's why there's this whole race to find Aegon between her and her dad.
Yes.
So, but before we move on to that, we have the whole incident where the separation occurs with Kristen Cole.
What do you mean when he kills the
only guy that spoke up against
it
is treason.
Yeah, it also appears that maybe he was the only one left out for obvious reasons. They were in cahoots to.
Well, also the Maester guy, right?
Well, the Maester guy told him to mind his tongue.
Well, yes, but he also.
I think he was just smarter than him. With
yeah, he's like, dude, know your audience, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, at this point, I think it's not clear whether the Maester was in on it or not, but he was definitely smarter than the older dude, where he was like, hey, calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Shut up if you know what's best for you. And then Kristen Nicole, quiet him down forever. So.
Well, yeah, Kristen Cole, dude, he obviously has a terrible temper. He fucking lost it at Joffrey. He lost it at this point. for a guy that like fucking thinks he's super honorable, like he didn't even listen to his commander, like the Kingsguard guy.
No, he didn't. And I
No.
wonder how that's going to play out. But
Well, I think that the main Kingsguard dude is because he was the one that would protect Rhaenyra before when she was a kid. You remember? I think she's just literally gonna go to Dragonstone and just
it seems like that in the preview the preview for the next episode.
Oh, I didn't even realize
I caught it. He was in there, but we can talk about that in the end.
Yeah.
Anyways, the search for Aegon, I think, was really interesting because we see almost like a competition between father and daughter, right?
Yeah.
And it's so they both want to
influence this fool first.
Yeah, because he's such a fucking idiot.
Well, also, like, it's interesting because Aemon goes along with Kristen, and then it's just Otto, and Otto sends out the twins, the Kingsguard twins.
Eric and
Arik.
So annoying.
It's really annoying,
right?
It's kind of funny.
It's hilarious, but I'd be so annoyed.
Well, that's
Eric.
Did you catch there was like a scene in a previous episode where damn it.
Who says it?
I'm just gonna say it because I said it so blatantly in my head. Alicent.
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
Damn.
It's okay.
Where
we're also playing for them, so it's okay if you say it.
It's okay if you say it.
I did.
Like 5 more times.
Yes, anyways, they're annoying, but I like the depth of their characters.
But there's
in this particular episode.
There's a scene where they it's like a little gag, I think, where she's like, she's like, oh yeah, can you? I forgot. She's saying something to like Eric, and then she's like, so Eric, and she's like, it's Eric, ma'am, and there's like no difference.
Yeah,
which is funny. She's like, my apologies, but she's like, what's the difference?
Well,
it was just kind of a funny little scene that they had before.
And that's the thing. And no, I thought it was hilarious too, especially because you brought it up that Olenna had the same type of thing.
Oh yeah, she had
in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And anyways, so Otto sends those two brothers to find Aegon,
and one of them is usually in charge of guarding Aegon. Previously, right?
But that's such a weird thing to be in charge of, because you know that this person has so much power, and you're in charge of them, and then they probably tell you, hey man, don't back off, right? And you're like, what the fuck do I do? Do I get on this guy's bad side? And then eventually, look, he's going to be king.
Well, it's kind of like, if you think like if your boss it puts you in a weird spot where it's like, I don't know, if your boss takes you out and does all these like illicit things, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna tell on your boss?
Here's why it's so confusing, because your boss isn't the boss yet, but he's gonna be boss.
But he's a type of boss. He's like a manager.
He is a manager right now.
Yeah, like.
But he's going to turn into the CEO.
Aegon's a manager.
And you know he's going to be the CEO. And right now he's like, a manager, I guess, at Taco Bell. But you know that's not where the road ends for him. So you have to kind of watch it. I think that's how I would feel like fuck.
Well, he knows in either case.
Do I listen to him or not? Because
a manager's still higher than whoever's under them. Right? Always. And then you add to that the nepotism of it all, where it's like, he's like the son of royalty, and it gets even worse. So yeah, he's in a hard spot, but that's kind of common sense shit. But it's interesting because there's this whole race between I was going to say it again.
There's a race between Alicent and Otto.
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
And we see them almost compete for the first time. Let me take my drink.
Well, it's also interesting that you have like this competition because Aemon goes with Kristen.
Yes.
Which is sent by Allicent. Damn.
Oh, it's not easy being drunk all the time.
No, I heard you.
Well, I felt like I gave that one to you.
You know what I really liked about this episode is that Aemon actually express how he really felt for the first time. Because
he should be king.
I think he bottles it in, right? And he's going through his own shit, but he's more of he has everything that Aegon doesn't, right? He says it for the first time. He says, I'm the one that studies philosophy. I'm the one that practices with the sword. I am the one that should rule.
Well, he's training as if Aegon won't be there that much longer, right? Like he's ready to take over. But again, that's why I'm saying like it's also interesting that all these people are in a race to find Aegon, but it's also a race. It's also interesting because they all are like, well, who knows him better? Is it his Kingsguard? Is it his brother? Is it Christian? And nobody really does seem to know him that well. It's the White Worm.
I thought the opposite.
That because they don't know him, they don't.
No, I thought they knew him quite well. I think one of the twins knows him, and he goes, like, you see what he is? He tells the other brother. You know, they sharpen their nails and file their teeth. And this is who Aegon is.
Well, I think maybe that's a mechanism from the director or the producers or whoever, like, to show us the things that Aegon likes. Like, everybody knows him in bits and pieces, but nobody was able to find him. The White Worm was the one that knew him the best. Well,
yes, nobody was able to find him because she probably drugged him and put him there. Well, but they would have found him at those fights, probably.
Well, but she also said...
Because that's where he likes to frequent.
Well, she also said that she's been basically like she's that he's alive because of her, because he could have killed him multiple times. He's been reckless, and she's been protecting him to basically move up at a certain point, right? She's like, just remember, I've been watching him, and I've essentially been taking care of him behind closed doors.
But she does put a request, and she makes a stipulation to Otto, and the stipulation is you have to stop with this fucking kid fighting, dude. Now, she didn't say it like that, but that was the message she said to Otto. Yeah. And Otto was like, I'll remember.
Yeah.
And who knows if he's going to stop it or not. But I do think that she is more powerful than what... Oh, maybe...
Well, she's more valuable than I think they've realized. But she also has a terrible accent still.
Yeah. Well, her accent is horrible.
It's so bad. Sure. It's so bad.
But her influence is gone up, right? And I feel like her accent got worse.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's still like Miss Cleo, but like Miss Cleo that lost a little more English and needs a little Duolingo.
Yeah. If Duolingo had a backwards program, right? You know how you get better at a certain...
Lingo Duo.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And that's what she's taking. But anyways, we get to see the White Worm again, and it almost like the first time she actually meets Otto, even though they worked together before, or she's fed him information, right? It seemed like it was the first time they actually see eye to eye. They meet each other.
I think it's the first time Otto actually is, she's actually like a figure that has people under her, right? Now she's a manager. And it's the first time that she's not like this agent out that's giving him information, but she's somebody that's like, oh, I have people giving me information and I can share that with you.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so it's interesting to see their interaction and stuff. And then we do kind of get these scenes where we're back at the castle and we see kind of what's going on with the people that have either been defiant or are staying, because if we remember, the last episode was Corlys. It was like the whole secession speech, so people have come from outside. Rhaenyra and her kids left, right? They went to Dragonstone because she said
she got out on time,
but she said she was going to come back. She was just going to drop off her kids because
on Dragonback.
Yeah, because Alicent said
it's not easy being drunk all the time.
I'll drink with you.
Okay. Said that
but some people like Rhaenys didn't get to leave, nor
she didn't. She left because her kids were getting they were fighting, right? And she said she would come back per the queen's request or her request. And then Rhaenys was one of the people that stayed, and so they have this conversation about allegiance essentially, right?
Yeah, and she doesn't buy it. She's not buying the whole like, hey, Viserys said it was his dying wish for Aegon to rule, because it's all very convenient, right? Of course, you're telling me that you saw him last, and
it came out to your benefit.
You're the only one that heard that he wanted your son to rule instead of what he actually said in front of everybody. Real convenient. And that's how she's feeling, right? And she doesn't really say anything other than that. And she lets her think about it, ring the bell when you made up your mind. And they leave that where it is with Rhaenys. Yeah. And I didn't know where it was going to go.
No, but Rhaenys also says like, oh, so I'm going to be held prisoner until then. So she also knows it's like she doesn't have much of an option.
No.
Right? And
by the way, when they have that, all the lords, and they bring him up in the throne room, and they ask him to pledge allegiance to Aegon, and this is what Viserys wanted, and some of them were, just because they bent the knee, I don't think they necessarily wanted it. They were just like, oh, they're gonna kill us if we don't bend the knee, and some of them were, I forgot who she was actually.
I don't know who that one guy was, but there was one dude who didn't do it, and then the woman,
the girl, who
the lady said absolutely not.
Yeah,
she got taken away, but who knows? I mean,
she's dead.
Well, yeah,
so is he.
We see, but we were watching the show. You brought up a good point where just because they still have a house, if they were killed off, because you see another guy who. He later tries to leave after bending the knee, and he really wants to go tell Rhaenyra, gets hung up because they catch him trying to dip. And then
I would have bent the knee.
Well, the smart thing to do is kind of hold it in and then prepare later.
Ask me if I would, and I'm like just sitting there or standing there with my outfit and everything, and ask me.
You have some pretty good knees there.
No, I do.
Would you like to bend the knee?
Abso-fucking-lutely. And I'd bend the knee. And then as soon as I could, I would just betray.
I think so too. I think that's a good move. But yeah, so they try to do that shit. And you brought up a good point where just because those people die doesn't mean that the house still doesn't exist.
No, I mean, think about it. If anything,
it solidifies vengeance.
Yeah. It was like, oh, they killed our lord. And of course, we're not going to side with you.
They killed my lord.
Yeah, my lord.
My accent is so bad.
And my accent's so bad?
I said mine, but yours is too.
Yeah, I agree. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Woo.
Whoa.
So I think some of those people that bent the knee, who knows who was being actually genuine on that, but maybe they will stick to what they said, and it doesn't matter. The smart thing was to bend the knee anyway, so we still haven't seen how they're gonna side. I mean, we got a glimpse of it. We definitely know the Lannisters are gonna be with the Greens. We know that, right?
Oh yeah,
he's so involved in it.
Well, he's one of the people that was conspiring before.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're definitely gonna be there. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell because it was only the people that were at the council. But then we do get into the point where White Worm lets Otto know where fucking Aegon is, right? Yeah. And then they find him
almost at the same time, kind of.
Yeah,
because they started following the twins.
Yeah, they're not stupid. So they started following the twins, and they find them under the praying temple for the seven that's in the castle. And Sir
Kristen Cole goes at it with Eric.
Or Air.
No, Eric's the one that leaves.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so there is.
I think Eric's the one that actually interacts with the prince, with Aegon, now king, I guess, on a day-to-day basis. He's the one that's always watching over him. So he's the one that's telling the brother, this is who he is.
Oh,
he's
the
not
one that
fit to rule.
he's not convinced.
Because he sees how cruel he is, how
he knows
how much of a fuck up he is, and he can, in good conscience, go ahead and follow through with this, so he can get put into the position to rule, because he knows he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
and he's trying to in this adventure of finding him, he's trying to convince his brother, like, dude, this isn't the fucking guy to rule.
He's like, yeah, brother.
So yeah, no, here we go.
That's Hulk Hogan again.
Yeah, making a return.
Well, he's like, yeah, brother. He can't be a good ruler.
And this is tear your shirt.
And then he's like Macho Man Randy Savage, and he's like Hulkmania. Did you know that Hulk did? He used to have chains in malls, and they were called Pasta Mania, and they would sell like spaghetti.
I did not know that, and now you guys do too.
Yeah, Pasta Mania.
Yeah, let us know in the comment section.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, have you ever tried it?
Good?
Yeah.
But
and
sorry.
Anyways, they start going at it, right? We see Eric not even partake in the.
No, he takes it as an opportunity to flee.
He's not really fleeing.
No, well, he later on we find out he's going to help out Rhaenys.
But you have to put it in perspective. Like, this guy was willing to. He was so disgusted or so against Aegon ruling that he was willing to leave his brother, who it doesn't seem like they don't get along.
No, but can we talk about how? When he told him, like, dude, look at the type of person he is, there was like child matches where they would file their nails and like teeth to just have him, and it looked like there was a fucking Targaryen baby being bred in the corner to fight next.
Was it his son? I think
it seemed like it was implied that it was his son, and that he had something to do with him being there.
Yeah,
and fucking to fight. So he has bastards around, and they're fucking being trained.
How are you gonna get away with it, dude? Imagine like if we had a kid. And I come back and our kid has his teeth filed. Like, hey, what happened to little baby Aegon?
I don't think the point. I think the point is that he's not supposed to come back.
Oh,
it doesn't matter. He just.
Yeah, who cares?
You know what I mean? Like,
I can see that.
So, and they, if you think about it, to the links that fucking his mom was going through to just like. Get rid of the other kid.
Okay.
Like she doesn't know half of it, is all I'm saying. She was mortified by his behavior before.
Yeah.
But yeah, later on we find out that the other Eric went to help out Rhaenys to basically escape the Red Keep, right?
Yeah, and he tells her, like, I can't stand by this treason, and he gets her out of there, and she's adamant about not leaving her dragon, and there's like, they're expecting you there. If you it's not the right thing to do, and they kind of they take off, but before we get to that epic scene,
we get back to Allicent, right? And
it's not easy being drunk all the time.
Fuck,
that's okay.
I know, but I
know you didn't mean it on that one.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, well,
I haven't really meant it. I just, man.
I'm drinking with you.
Okay, thank you. Well, we get to that scene where good old, creepy old Larys.
Okay, I couldn't wait to talk
Sir
about
creeps
this.
a lot.
So apparently in Westeros, much like in Earththeros,
yeah,
there's creeps that are into feet stuff.
There's fucking pizza. I was like, is this a Tarantino film?
Yeah, it seemed like a Tarantino film.
It was like,
I want to go back to the credits and see who directed this shit.
Tarantino's daughter.
Yeah, and
Tarantina. I don't know. Quintina.
And you caught it before I did. You're like, oh my God, he's into feet. I was like, what are you talking about? She could have had a long day.
No.
And then she starts like...
It's slow. Yes.
And more information gets put out there.
Yeah.
Takes off the shoes. She puts them on display. You caught it right away.
Yeah.
I was just like, look, I'm not necessarily... I'm not into feet. Not like, I'm not.
Look, I'm going to let everyone in on a little secret.
Yes.
I'm not into feet. It's not personal.
Me neither.
Foot stuff ain't my
I'm not into feet,
jam.
But I would say that you are against
feet.
Foot stuff.
My campaign.
You say it all the time.
Well, because I have a few rules, right?
I don't think you do.
I mean, I do. One of them is no foot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is don't mess with my snack game. But
I never heard that before.
okay, well,
I've heard no foot stuff plenty of times. Don't mess with my snack game is what you said?
Well, I just thought
I've never heard that ever.
What do I value in life? And I really like snacks.
Okay. I just never heard it before.
Well, I've never vocalized my rules other than no foot stuff.
Okay. Well, in either case.
What
a fucking creep, right?
Well, no shame to anybody in their feet game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just such a slow. It was a good scene, but
and she knew what he was doing when she really.
Well, okay.
after the shoes came off,
the whole time she's known,
and then.
Well, that's the thing. First, it's a slow. It's the feet. Yeah. Oh, you get this, and then you see socks, and then for him, he was like.
She gets the socks off,
and then the socks off, and he gets his rocks off.
Yeah. Well, not yet.
No, his rocks.
Was it socks? And then does she have some sort of? It doesn't matter. When she really puts him out there,
then he starts pitching a tent, and the information starts flowing.
And that's not the only thing that's flowing.
No, well, blatantly, a tent is pitched right in front of her face, and she feels like grossed out by it, so she turns away because she knows, dude. And you know what's interesting? I saw a meme. Shout out to whoever did that meme where they were saying like, they were talking about like him being a creep on the episode when Lena dies, and he was like looking at her,
just staring at her. Yeah.
Yes, but they were like, when they were saying something about like, foot stuff, like.
Oh, really?
I saw a meme before, and I was like, "Oh shit, they knew." So, is this written in the books or what?
I was gonna say it's probably in the books.
Is this written in the books? So, does George R. R. Martin have a foot fetish?
Yes.
Okay.
I never would. I'm not creative at all, but I think that if you're writing. And then you throw in foot stuff in the novel.
It's because, Tarantino
you're suppressing, or maybe not suppressing. Maybe it's out there. Maybe you, fuck it, I like foot stuff.
Well, that's why Tarantino does it, right?
Yeah, because he's a fucking creep.
Yeah, but he can write in whatever he wants. Yeah. So it's like...
In either case, it was a good scene because it creeped me out. And I'm like, dude, man.
And he's already creepy.
He's already creepy and all crooked footy. I don't like it.
Well, maybe it's because his feet don't look great.
That he likes feet that are straight. It's like, oh my god, are your feet straight? Oh my god.
Well, or just certain feet.
Are your feet pointing the same direction? Oh my god.
You know what? I just wonder how long that's been going on.
How
long has the foot stuff been going on between Alicent and him? Because even Otto
she
says...
knew.
Well, yes. This is obviously something they do for information. But even Otto said, you tend to spend time with her in the evenings.
Mm-hmm. So
is it like foot time?
I don't...
It's like my go photo rangers. It's foot morphin time. Is that not? Is that not?
I just.
You just.
Well, listen. I applaud the effort. It just wasn't there for me. That's okay. All.
Well,
but you're right. Otto does notice that his daughter and him are spending too much time. Well, not too much, but
they're
some
spending time.
And he goes like, "Hey, just because we're spending time together doesn't mean that time we're spending together isn't of value with you."
And then he pulls out his foot.
And then he puts it in his mouth.
Yeah. No.
You think he would be into Otto's foot or both his feet?
The look he gave him suggests to me, yes.
Because he's like, oh, I've seen his daughters.
He's like, you know what?
I wonder if he got her feet.
It's not to say
him.
You and I.
Yeah.
It's not to say you can't partake in the action.
Okay.
So I felt yes. But anyways, Laris is a creep.
Would you rather...
Okay.
Show your feet to Laris or make out with Otto?
Ugh.
Those are the only thing. Or they kill your babies in Dragon if you're a Targaryen.
Show my feet to Laris.
Okay.
Because Otto has such bad hair. I just can't.
Make out with him?
I can't. And he looks like his lips would be hard and dry and like,
Yeah, he's not using any type of
anything.
chapstick or anything. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I think I would rather show my feet to Crooked Foot for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, Larys is a fucking creep. We know this. He's trying to gain political advantage.
He's trying to get in there any way he can.
Yeah, I just didn't think he was gonna like just full on jerk off in front of Alicent.
I would be insulted if he didn't.
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
You didn't give me a chance on that one.
I give you a chance all the time.
No chance.
What are you talking about?
No chance. And then we get into the
so
scene.
Alicent has an OnlyFans.
It's not easy being drunk.
That's a good one. I didn't even mean it on that.
Yeah, I
know. So she has an OnlyFans. I did. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, she has an
OnlyFan.
And literally the
and it's working.
Is Larys.
Yeah. But then we finally get a shot of her with Aegon after they finally found him, and he's not convinced that hey, my dad didn't even like me. I don't want this. All of this stuff.
And he still looks like what's the guy from American Horror Story? Mixed with the My Chemical Romance guy.
The guy from the Dahmer show?
Yes. What's his name?
I don't know his name. But I know who you're talking about. Sure.
I can't remember. But yeah, him and then the My Chemical Romance guy, if they had a baby, that's what Aegon looks like.
Yeah, he looks like... Never mind. I was just going to say, he looks like he cuts himself.
Oh.
But, you know... yeah, so he's with his mom, and she beat her dad to him. Right? And then he's telling him, Alicent's telling Aegon that
it's not easy being drunk all the time.
I gave you plenty of time.
No, you didn't.
What are you talking about?
You just looked at me like
like
Larys
I knew
looked at
it.
Alicent.
I knew it.
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
You have plenty of time.
Okay, all of half a second.
That's what you do to me.
We're going to watch it and rewind and see how long it takes. Anyways. Aegon.
So then we get into that. They're driving together and he's kind of bitching like, father never liked me.
Yeah.
He's ruining my life. Like, I don't want to be that. And then it's not until she pulls out that shiny knife, which is Blackfire. And it's not Blackfire?
No.
What's this?
I don't know if it has a name at this point.
Dreamfire? No, that's the dragon.
Blackfire's the sword.
No, that's what she pulls out.
It was the dagger. It's not Blackfire.
She said she was going to give him that one.
Well, I think he does. He does get to have Blackfire, but that was the dagger, which is not Blackfire. I'm not trying to be an asshole with you.
No, I thought that's what she said. That's the only reason I said the name.
In either case, that's when it really hits him that she means it, and he's still questioning that, and he even asked her like, do you love me? Because he didn't feel loved by his father, right? And his mother tells him, you're an imbecile. Because if anything, she loves him.
Well,
I don't think she respects him. She might not really, really, really think he's the best thing to rule, for the realm, but I love you and you're my son. And I think that's the only thing that he can really... out of all of this, it's the one thing that, it's a fact. Like, I love you.
Well, that's her whole drive and purpose in general. She likes her children. She loves her children and she wants them to succeed, right? And so that happens. He doesn't feel worthy, but then he feels better when he brings out the shiny dagger, the Azor Ahai, A Song of Ice and Fire dagger. And then they essentially announce the king. They crown him, and it's all through the seven and the temple and
a huge crowd.
Yeah,
right? Almost everybody. If you can, that was the place to be. If you were able to get in, you got in. Good for you. So you think?
Well, yeah, and then it takes them a second to cheer for the new king.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Kristen Cole yells at them that it's his new king,
Mm-hmm.
and then they cheer. But it's definitely delayed.
Yeah, they weren't necessarily thrilled about it, but
Then they still cheer anyway. Sheep.
yeah, but they weren't upset either, right? They were like just get a little bit confused, and then they kind of like, all right, we made peace with this.
What can they do?
And let's keep in mind that when Rhaenyra was younger and she took to the streets of Westeros,
she had opposition.
A lot of people were saying a woman ruler. Ugh.
They also didn't know this Aegon, right?
Well, they didn't know that Aegon at
because
this Aegon
now
at
we
the time,
kind of see that opposition, or at least a hesitancy.
Yeah.
So I think that's also indicative of what the crowd was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
But in the midst of all this, we also have Rhaenys, who one of the Aaron brothers ended up saving, right?
And then she ends up in the crowd with the multitude, and then she kind of starts sneaking away. And I initially thought she's going to get her dragon. I did think that. I didn't think she was going to do what she did.
I mean, I didn't think that either, but I also thought she was going to go to get her dragon too.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like, now that I'm separated, I'm going to at least do what I can.
Yeah.
And then it was so crowded.
And it's such a valuable thing to have, right? Like if you have a dragon, if we're about to start this war, a dragon is huge. It's so crucial to have it on your side.
Well,
so she was not willing to part with her dragon. And
it's also interesting because in the books, there's like another Rhaenys. I don't think it's this one. I think it's who her namesake was, who she was named after.
Mm-hmm.
She was also like, she didn't want to be separated didn't want to be separated from her dragon for very long. She would get depressed and things like that. So, but that was like her MO always. So it's interesting that this Rhaenys as well is like the first thing she thinks about is her dragon.
Well, I think she's preparing for, war.
Well, it's also that bond
Conflict.
and that connection. But yes,
and on top of that too,
Yeah, definitely, it's both of those things. And then we get this epic scene.
Yes. Out of nowhere. I was not expecting this.
Where she leads off into, like, she gets her chance to kind of go into the dragon pits and just fucking...
And the beauty about it is that we didn't see it. We
saw the aftermath.
We saw the aftermath. We didn't see her going in. So it was as a viewer, it was a huge surprise. She breaks through the surface, and she probably killed I don't know how many people, but she for sure killed, a few people.
Yeah, she basically rose up from like fucking the dragon pits and destroyed half of the supporters. You know what? Don't clap next time.
Yeah.
And then she has like the opportunity just fucking end it all.
It hurts me just thinking about it.
Right? She like the dragon and Rhaenys, and she's wearing this dope ass armor.
She is.
Yeah, she's like, she was ready, and she's like,
I really liked her armor.
Well, it was really cool.
Yeah, and I think we knew that she wasn't gonna do it, or else this story goes nowhere.
Well, yeah,
but we were still fucking hoping.
Well, because
right?
it's like,
just say it. We were screaming. By the way, Jasmine and I were screaming, "Fucking say it."
Just do it. Yeah, Dracarys. And our dog
just started barking. It was like, not you, the dragon, you idiots.
You have a problem when your dogs respond to Dracarys.
I know. We watch this
and then they're all like... But that's what we wish Rhaenys had done to all the high towers.
Yeah. And
she doesn't.
She doesn't. She sees Allicent,
but she has her dragon does like kind of.
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
She does do this like roar, which is okay. Like she scares them a little bit, and then she leaves.
Yeah, I don't think she can bear. I think she connected with. It sounds so stupid, but I think she felt for a mother, being a mother.
Well, at the end, we find out, like the director's intention was that that she makes this choice because her morals are she doesn't want to take another mother away from their kid. Mm-hmm. But you know what, dude? She wouldn't have, because she would have burned them all, which sounds terrible, but
good point. I'm not going to take you away from your kids. I'm
kids
sending you to the afterworld with them. Good morrow.
Honestly.
I bid you good morrow, Dracarys.
Yes. Yeah. I just think it's like you're not. You literally have the chance to not do that, and she doesn't. So, bad choice. But
she looked cool, badass.
Yeah.
Everything's happening that I wanted to happen. Like, the fucking dragon whips his tail and kills like 100 people. Yeah. I'm loving it, dude. And then when I think she's gonna do it, even though I knew that she wasn't, I still broke my fucking heart. Like, come on.
It's because it would have been an easy fix. But it doesn't happen. This episode is for the Hightowers. And then it kind of ends there.
Yeah.
So
next episode
is most likely going to be all about Rhaenyra and the Targaryens and Rhaenys and the Blacks.
Their response to what's happening.
Yeah, well, Rhaenys is obviously she's the only one that's managed to leave. So she's obviously going to go over there. So I'm excited to see what's the aftermath of that. All the people that were killed, all the lords and things that were killed from the houses. Yeah. Now we're going to see the split sides, and we're getting the other side. And then we have to wait another 3 years to basically get anything
Good Lord.
Back. So we'll see. So that's pretty much everything that happened.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next week's episode so much. Just like every episode at the end of it.
The finale.
I want more. And you know what? After next week, we're gonna have to wait
years.
I hope not.
But then that's when the Game of Thrones
really begins.
Rewatch. Begins, I think. But so
in either case, that's it. We're looking forward to next week's episode. It's almost like a bittersweet type of thing.
I did accidentally pour us too much shot. And just, Tyrion came by earlier and he was like...
It's not easy being drunk all the time.
It's not. I know it seems like it is, but it's not.
So, that's pretty much our show. Just remember to subscribe, follow us on Spotify, Apple for audio, and check us out on YouTube if you want some additional visual content.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.